Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Firework Stories, Pyro Stories, however you wish to phrase it. This is going to be a series of videos running up to the 5th of November where myself and people who work for me, and hopefully some of my friends and some people in the industry who I know pretty well, I hope are going to throw a few stories in just to sort of get the juices running in the build up to the 5th of November. We're going to explain to you why we like fireworks, how we got into fireworks, and firework stories which will, not to put too fine a point on it, blow your hat off. So why do I own a fireworks shop? Well, I'm very lucky in that I have a very understanding wife. She looked at me when we first mentioned it as if to say, really? And now she's just got used to the idea, which I have. Never set up a fireworks shop. Perfect piece of advice, because if you have any idea how much it costs, you would never do it. But 14 years on, hey, we tick along. These are all examples of fireworks we sold in the past. Trading standards, if you're watching, they are all dummies, they are all empty boxes. Fire brigade, don't worry, it's all cool. Yes, we do have racks here because we have a full professional firework section, so we can use mortars, we can use shells, we can use, well, a whole gallimaufry of effects. Anyway, why am I sat here? When I was little, 7 or 8, my dad would always buy fireworks for us. He'd buy us the standard A box or B box if we're feeling flush, which was probably £5–6 from the Leydens around the corner, the little newsagents. And when I got a little bit older and we were on our bikes riding around, me and my mates, I remember going to NSS on Manchester Road behind Ruthley's, and they had in there the aerial display. And I said to my dad, can we please have that? Can we please have that? Can we please have that? And I remember, I think I had to mow the lawn and rake the leaves up and do a few jobs around the house. And eventually Dad said, yes, we can have the aerial display. And we went and bought it. And it was essentially a box of air bombs and screaming rockets that went to air bombs. It was just noise. It was fantastic. And the seeds were sown then of my love of fireworks. Subsequently, in further years, we had parties, and I always wanted to find bigger and bigger fireworks. And where do you find them from? You can go to a garden centre, or there weren't any specialist retailers at the time, really. We're going back to sort of 1998, 1999 time. There weren't any fireworks shops. You just bought them from wherever was available. And I always remember thinking, I wish there was a big fireworks shop. Well, there is now. And we run it, my wife and I, my daughter as well, and a whole assembly of wonderful people who work with us, who are all as insane as we are, which really does help. So just wanted to talk to you about our love of fireworks and why we're here. I remember the snowstorm, I remember the traffic light, I remember Mount Etna when I was tiny, all these little fireworks. They were dazzling, they were wonderful, they were magical. And the memories that came from it, and the book that Mum and Dad bought for me when I was little, which was George Layton's The Fib. And in there's a story about fireworks and what a little boy does, because a little boy loves fireworks, and he finds someone else who has some fireworks, and he swaps his bike for the fireworks, and for reasons ends up setting them off in his house, which doesn't end well. But a story about fireworks in the days building up to bonfire night. I read it every single night and I loved it, and I couldn't wait for bonfire night to set off our own fireworks. I just loved them. There's no other way of phrasing it. Subsequent years, we now run our own full tilt firework display company. We can set off 6-inch shells, we can do what we want, essentially, but I get as much fun setting off a little selection box with my wife and my daughter and our friends, and a few rockets maybe, on bonfire night, as I do setting off one of these bad boys over here. We can do Disney level displays, but there's something in the joy of the little fireworks that will always just captivate me, and they're wonderful. So this is the first of the Pyro Stories. We're going to do a lot of these, as possibly I said earlier. We're going to get some people we know in the industry who are going to do some videos. There's a certain gentleman who happens to wear a dog collar, and I know he's got 2 blinders. I'm going to hope that he can come here and tell those stories. There's so much to tell. So this is the first of them. This is the first of the fireworks stories, the Pyro Stories. Not decided what to call them yet, you can probably tell. This is the first one. So thank you very much for listening. And Pyro Stories, I think we'll go with Pyro Stories. Pyro Stories, many more to come. Thank you very much. All the best. Goodbye.